My beloved child, there is a sacred scroll written with your name, held tightly in the grip of eternity. And for far too long, you have walked the earth unaware that heaven has preserved an inheritance for you beyond anything your eyes have seen or your heart dare to believe. And now, in this moment, the veil is being lifted because the time has come, not just for awareness, but for activation. Yes, I, the Lord your God, have declared that in this exact hour, a revelation must reach you, and it cannot wait any longer. For you have cried out in silence. You have hoped against hope, and I have watched you survive in places meant only for your passing, lingering in deserts when I had gardens blooming in the distance. But this message is not about what was withheld. This is about what is now being released, and it carries the weight of generations before you who prayed, bled, and believed without seeing. Yet you, yes you, are the chosen vessel through whom their promise shall be fulfilled. And what they long for in faith, you will hold in manifestation, because you were never meant to simply exist. You were born to inherit, and this inheritance is not merely material. It is spiritual, it is eternal, it is the authority I carved into your spirit before you took your first breath. And for too long, the enemy has tried to bury your identity beneath shame, distraction, and weariness. But heaven has grown louder, the trumpet has sounded, and the angels are now dispatched, not just to protect, but to deliver what has been assigned to your name since the beginning of time. And Archangel Michael himself has stood at the gates, fighting off forces that knew the weight of what you carry and feared your awakening. Because when you realize what belongs to you, when you finally comprehend the divine estate that was written for your life, you will no longer beg for crumbs when you were born to feast at the king's table. And this is why the battle has been so heavy lately, why your nights have been darker than usual, why confusion has crept in where clarity used to be. Because the hour of release is near and hell is panicking. And so I speak to you now, clearly, lovingly, but urgently. You have 2 hours in the spirit realm to prepare your heart, to posture your soul, to turn your gaze fully toward me, because the message about your inheritance has arrived. And this message is not information. It is invitation, an invitation to rise, to receive, and to reclaim what the enemy said you'd never touch. For you've been lied to, told you're too broken, too late, too disqualified. But I say you're exactly who I called, exactly when I meant to call you. And the scrolls of heaven are being opened, the seals broken, and I have begun to reveal the divine legacy crafted in your name before the stars were flung into space. And it's not just about blessings or wealth or favor, though those are included. It is about destiny, purpose, anointing, and eternal impact in you. Must understand this. You are the carrier of a bloodline breakthrough, a divine course corrector. And the enemy knew that if he could just delay you, distract you, distort your reflection long enough, you might miss this exact hour. But I have preserved you through storms not just to survive them, but to rise from them in authority. And now heaven is aligning circumstances, angels, and timelines for your inheritance to not just be seen, but fully received. And if you're wondering how you'll know it's real, how you'll know this isn't just another moment of spiritual stirring with no fruit to follow, then listen, because in these next 2 hours, there will be divine interruptions, undeniable confirmations, dreams that unlock, people who suddenly appear with keys you didn't know you needed, and your heart will burn because your spirit recognizes what your mind has forgotten. And I say to you, don't ignore this stirring. Don't silence this fire. Don't rationalize away the urgency, because what is coming next will require you to be fully awake, fully yielded, and fully willing to let go of what is familiar in order to walk into what is forever. For I have spoken over you words of legacy, and the time to see them come to pass is now. And there are territories to be claimed, doors to be opened, mantles to be worn, and if you knew even a glimpse of what I've stored up for you, you would drop every distraction and run toward me with everything you have. And child, I need you to know this message about your inheritance is not a vague promise. It is the fulfillment of covenant. And those who endure to the end of this message, who remain with me through the waiting and the wonder, will receive not only revelation, but supernatural reward, because I reward those who seek me with diligence. And right now, I am searching the earth, eyes moving to and fro, looking for the ones who will say yes before they see, who will believe before they hold it in their hands. And to you, yes, you reading these words now, I am saying again, your name is on the scroll, your inheritance is real, and the message you are hearing is not coincidence. It is calling. And if you will keep listening, if you will keep walking, if you will stay present, then I promise you will be among those who inherit the fullness of what was written in heaven before the foundations of the world were laid. And now that your heart has been stirred and your spirit awakened, I must take you deeper, for the inheritance spoken of is not something that can be grasped casually, nor can it be received while clinging to the ashes of past seasons. Because the time you have remaining is not a countdown of fear, but a sacred window of transformation. And in these final hours before the heavenly decree is made visible on the earth, I, the Lord your God, urge you to prepare your soul as a vessel of honor. For what I am about to pour into your life cannot be carried by hands still holding bitterness or hearts heavy with regret. So hear me now as I speak through Archangel Michael, whose tears have mingled with your silent cries in the midnight hour, whose sword has fought battles in dimensions you cannot yet comprehend. This is your turning point, child. This is the appointed hour. And though many have walked beside you, not all were called to cross over into the land of your inheritance. And yes, I know this truth aches, but listen to me. Not everyone who started with you is meant to stay with you, because the weight of glory that is coming upon you requires room, clarity, and an atmosphere of holiness. So don't be surprised when relationships suddenly shift, when doors you once begged me to open now shut without explanation. Because I am not punishing you, I am positioning you. For your inheritance includes spiritual authority that can only rest upon the shoulders of one who has been refined. And make no mistake, I have been refining you, even in moments when you thought I was silent. I was preparing you, shaping you, humbling you, until your identity aligned with my vision. And now the heavens are roaring with anticipation, because they know what you do not fully see yet, that you are about to be launched into a season of fulfillment so intense, so undeniable, that even your enemies will testify that I have favored you. And still I say, do not lose focus, for the inheritance comes not only with beauty, but with responsibility. And I am not giving you these things for your comfort alone, but for your calling. And if you steward this moment well, you will see the kind of acceleration that causes people to whisper what just happened in their life. But I will know, you will know, it was divine, it was destined, and it was delayed until you were finally ready to receive it. Because if I had given it to you too soon, it would have crushed you, but now. Your roots have grown deep enough to carry the fruit that's about to manifest. And you must remember, this inheritance is layered. It is rich. It is sacred. Some of it will come in the form of restoration, lost things being returned multiplied. Some of it will arrive as divine connections, people you've never met but whom I ordained before time to open doors, to speak life, to activate gifts you didn't even know were dormant. And yes, some of it will be provision, financial, tangible, visible. Blessings that will silence every lie that called you forgotten. But child, do not chase the gift. Chase the giver. For when your eyes are locked on me, nothing can distract or detour you. And you must stay close, stay yielded, stay empty enough to be filled. Because in these final hours, there are decisions you must make, alignments you must release, and territory you must claim. Not with striving, but with authority. And the authority I'm placing on you will not look like the world's power. It will be weighty with wisdom, crowned with humility, and anointed for impact. And I must tell you, there will be those who do not understand what is happening in your life. Those who accuse you, question you, resist the favor rising upon you. but do not defend yourself. Your elevation will be your explanation, and your fruit will speak louder than your words ever could. And if you will just keep your posture of obedience, if you will continue to say yes when it's hard, to surrender even when it hurts, then nothing will be withheld from you. For I am not a man that I should lie, nor a son of man that I should change my mind. And what I promised, I will fulfill. And your name is still written in the scroll, unaltered, unchanged, sealed by my spirit, and protected by angelic hosts who have been waiting for centuries for this hour to come. And they are rejoicing because they see what's ahead. The marriages restored, the children healed, the communities transformed, the ministries birthed, the generational cycles broken, the lands acquired, the nations impacted, and it's all tied to your yes, your obedience, your refusal to walk away when everything inside you wanted to quit. And I saw you. I saw you stay faithful when no one clapped. I saw you give when you lacked. I saw you pray when you had no strength. And I have stored every tear, every offering, every whispered prayer in my book of remembrance. And now it is time for the book to be opened, for the heavenly vaults to be unlocked, for the doors that no man can shut to swing wide open before you. And if you're still listening, still reading, still seeking, then you are among the ones who will walk in what generations only hoped for. And I tell you again, 2 hours is not a threat. It is an invitation. And if you prepare your spirit, if you cleanse your atmosphere, if you declare with your mouth that you receive what I've spoken, then you will begin to see signs even before the time is complete, signs that I am near, that my hand is moving, that your inheritance is no longer delayed, but is descending now quickly, powerfully, and undeniably. So do not leave this moment. Stay with me, because what I will reveal in the next hour will change everything, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. And now, as the veil begins to lift and you feel the stirring in your spirit, let me tell you something that even your heart has tried to deny. This inheritance that is coming, this sacred deposit of destiny, was never just about you, because I, the Lord your God, have chosen you as a vessel, a conduit through which generational blessings must flow. And yes, you heard me correctly, for what you are about to receive is not a random reward. It is a lineage correction, a divine repayment for what your bloodline lost, for what your ancestors were denied, for the promises that were stolen or delayed through fear, sin, bondage, and silence. But now, because you chose to stay awake, because you chose to listen, because you did not walk away when the fire got hot, I am releasing through you what the enemy thought he buried generations ago. And I am telling you this so you no longer walk in confusion, wondering why the weight has felt unbearable at times, why the warfare has been relentless, why you've been misunderstood and isolated and torn between two realms. Because you are the hinge, the turning point, the breaker of chains for your entire line. And what you carry is so holy, so significant, that all of heaven is holding its breath as the final moments of delay tick away. And with each second that passes, angels are being deployed, not just to protect, but to guide, to instruct, to point you to hidden scrolls, divine strategies, long-forgotten promises waiting for activation through your obedience. So hear me clearly. You have been positioned in this time for such a reason as this, not by accident, not by mistake. And your inheritance is not just land or money or visibility, though those things may come. But your true inheritance is spiritual jurisdiction, kingdom access, insight, favor that opens gates for others, healing that flows through your hands, revelation that comes in your sleep, discernment so sharp that deception flees before it even reaches your ears. And with this inheritance comes responsibility, not to perform but to steward, to guard the atmosphere of your life, to say no when compromise whispers sweetly, to walk upright when others bow to the world, to serve when others seek power, for the weight of this blessing must rest upon a foundation of humility. And I'm calling you now to remember your yes, the yes you gave me in the quiet moments when no one was watching, When the world was loud and your soul was weary, but you whispered, Lord, I trust you anyway. I heard that, yes, I held it close, and I am building upon it now. And as you continue this path, understand that some things are being exposed for your protection, not your pain. And what looks like loss is often divine redirection. So if people walk away, let them. If doors close, don't panic. If plans fall through, trust that I am replacing the temporary with the eternal. And if you will allow me to purify your motives, to stretch your faith, to challenge your perspective, then you will see with new eyes that this inheritance has already begun to arrive. For haven't you noticed? The shifting in your dreams, the strange peace that comes after prayer, the sense that something unseen is drawing near. That is not imagination. That is manifestation. And as my spirit hovers over you now, I am whispering secrets only a yielded heart can receive. Secrets about your calling, your relationships, your next step, because I do not want you to enter this new season confused or afraid. I want you rooted in clarity and wrapped in confidence. And this confidence does not come from the applause of others, but from the knowledge that I, the King of all creation, have set my seal upon you, and no accusation, no betrayal, no delay, no curse, no failure, no mistake can strip you of what I have ordained. And I say again, it is coming, and it is coming fast. And when it arrives, you must not hide it. You must not downplay it. You must not question if you're worthy, for I have already deemed you worthy through the blood of the Lamb and the fire of your endurance. So walk in it boldly, but walk in it wisely. For not all will celebrate what I do through you. And you must discern the motives of those who draw near, because when my glory descends, so too do counterfeits, distractions, subtle saboteurs who wear masks of familiarity. And this is why I am sharpening your vision, expanding your ears to hear even what is not said, because this next season will require a deeper level of maturity than ever before. And I trust you to carry it, because I have been preparing you for it even when you didn't know it, even when you questioned if I was near. And child, I was nearer than ever, building you, pressing you, forming in you the character required to carry the crown. And this is why you must be unshakable in these final moments, because the enemy knows his time is up, and the evidence of your inheritance will soon be visible to all. And I need you to be strong enough to handle the blessing without idolizing it, wise enough to walk in rooms without shrinking or boasting, humble enough to say, this is the Lord's doing, and focused enough to not lose yourself in the crowd. And I know you. Well, because you're not who you were. You're being transformed, elevated, cleansed, equipped, anointed, and even now, angels are clearing the path ahead, making room for the divine exchange that will mark the next chapter of your life. So do not stop here. Do not turn back. Do not delay, because what's coming next is not only worth the wait, it will redeem the wait. And you will look back at this very moment and say, now I understand why it took so long. And you will fall to your knees in awe, not just because I did what I promised, but because I did more than you imagined in ways you never expected. And because of it, many will come to know me through your story, and the ripple effect of your yes will echo for generations. But for now, stay close, stay ready, and prepare your spirit, because in the next hour, the final piece will be revealed, and the seal will be broken, and you will never be the same again. And now, as the final hour begins to dissolve into the unfolding revelation I have prepared for you, understand this. The last test is not in the battle, but in the blessing, because it is easy to trust me when you are desperate. But I want to know, can you still depend on me when overflow begins to pour into your life like a flood? Can you still listen for my voice when others begin to elevate yours? Can you still seek my face when everything you once begged for suddenly stands before you? Because what you are about to receive is not simply a gift. It is a divine trust, a heavenly assignment cloaked in favor, disguised as opportunity, but encoded with eternal purpose. And I did not bring you this far just to comfort you with wealth or to entertain you with material reward. No, I brought you to this place to activate your dominion, to ignite your calling, to see if you will walk in your inheritance with reverence. Because this inheritance is a key, and once you take it, the locks will fall from every sealed door that held your family captive, and what was lost in your lineage will be returned sevenfold. Because I am not a God who restores halfway. I restore in fullness. I restore beyond measure. And I am restoring through you, not by accident, not by coincidence, but because I have found in you a heart that, though crushed, remained open, a spirit that, though tired, still stood. And it is because of your resilience, your obedience in the unseen, that I now usher you into a time of manifested glory, where hidden treasures will come to light, where long-forgotten promises will suddenly awaken, where the delays will make sense because now is the appointed time. And child, there is no force strong enough to stop what I have decreed over your life. And though the enemy tried to distract you, detour you, discredit you, he cannot deny you, because I myself have signed the scroll with your name on it, sealed it with my fire, and I have commanded my angels to deliver what was written for this hour. So expect it, prepare for it. Make space in your spirit and in your atmosphere, because miracles don't visit crowded rooms. And I am not coming to squeeze into chaos. I am coming to establish order, to set things in alignment, to open pathways where none existed before. And even now, while you sit with this message, I am speaking to others about blessing you. I am turning hearts in your favor. I am whispering your name in rooms you haven't entered. I am moving hands behind the scenes to release what is rightfully yours. And no signature from man can override my will. For what I open, no one can shut. And what I have blessed, no one can curse. And this is the promise. I will not only give you what belongs to you, I will give you more than you prayed for, more than you planned for, more than you believe possible, because I am doing this to make a statement, not about your worthiness, but about my goodness, my timing, my ability to restore the years the locusts have eaten. And I am doing it swiftly, suddenly, undeniably, in a way that silences every mocker and confounds every enemy. For when I act, it will be impossible to deny my hand upon you. And even those who doubted you will be forced to acknowledge my glory. And it will not be to your credit, but to mine, because I do not share my glory, but I do crown my children with it. And I am placing a crown upon you now, not made of gold or jewels, but of authority, of wisdom, of peace. And as you walk forward, do not look behind you. Do not search for old affirmation in old places. Do not delay your steps for the comfort of those who refuse to walk with you in the wilderness. For you are now crossing over into a land flowing with favor, flowing with strategy, flowing with divine inheritance. And with it comes new territory, new names, new alignments, and yes, even new warfare. But this time, you are not entering the fight alone, because I have armed you, clothed you, shielded you, and I go before you, making every crooked path straight, leveling every mountain, breaking every chain that tries to form around your progress. And as you continue, I will send confirmation in threes, 3 divine encounters, 3 prophetic dreams, 3 undeniable signs. And when you see them, you will know this is not imagination. This is the manifestation of what was promised. This is the season the prophets spoke of. This is the inheritance the heavens rejoiced over. And I want you to protect it, not with fear, but with discernment, not with anxiety, but with wisdom, because what is being given is fragile at first, like a newborn, needing protection, needing intentionality, needing prayer. And if you guard it well, I will multiply it. I will expand your reach. I will cause strangers to bless you, nations to notice you. And I will use your story to rescue others who thought their promise was dead. And yes, you will rise, not for vanity, but for victory. And the sound of your testimony will carry across timelines, across generations, because what I am doing is not just for now. It is for legacy, for spiritual inheritance that your children's children will walk in, and all of heaven is watching, waiting, leaning in, for you are one decision away from stepping into a life you won't need to escape from. And even now, as you finish this message. I am sending angels into your atmosphere to seal the word, to confirm it with signs, to flood your soul with peace so real it silences every lie. And in the next few hours, if you remain open, if you stay aligned, you will feel the shift, not in theory, but in reality, in your body, your spirit, your atmosphere, and you will know that I, the Lord your God, have spoken, and I do not speak in vain. And if you are still uncertain, let me offer this final sign. Before the sun sets, someone will speak something to you that echoes this very word. And when it does, write it down, declare it, receive it. Because the scroll has been opened, the gates have been unlocked, and your inheritance is no longer a prophecy. It is a present reality waiting for your faith to rise up and take hold.